Scott Boruff, you are the founder of Safe Space Global. You're the first guest that I've had that has rung the bell at both NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange. You have taken an energy company public, and you've also experienced and publicly talked about some downturns. And you are doing something exciting in the AI tech space, and that's why I wanted to have you on, because you not only do you have a good story that you can tell about building, going public, restarting, and now starting something new in AI. So thanks for coming on, and glad to have you.
Clayton, glad to be here. It's been a fun ride and continues to be fun. So thanks for having me.
Well, you've done it all, my friend, and so I appreciate you being on, and I can't wait to talk to you about Safe Space. But I want to see if we can talk about your earlier wins and losses with your energy background. You've raised over $1 billion in capital and in equity, and so if you wouldn't mind, give us the origin story, kind of walk us through it. This audience loves to hear about wins and losses and rebuild, so give it all.
I've had a bunch of them. That's how I got my gray hairs. It's the losses the hard way. Some of my biggest wins have been my biggest losses. So that's what's interesting. My biggest wins from our shareholders have been the biggest losses for me. But you learn. You never really lose. You just always learn. So I grew up in a real estate family. First half of my life, buying real estate, developing real estate, borrowing money from banks, raising capital, raising equity. So literally my whole life, I've done nothing but raise capital, both debt and equity. And that's how we get to the billion number. So it's just kind of crazy. But and then the second half of my life, I watched the movie Wall Street, the original movie Wall Street, when the guy was walking down the beach saying, I can remember when 800,000 was a good year. Now it's just a good day. I'm like, wow, what does he do? And he was M&A in banking. So I went and got my Series 7 license and Series 66 and literally lived in Knoxville, but worked out of New York, because you got to be within like 50 miles of your broker. So that's where I got all my hard training on the streets of Wall Street. And we call it, I've got a book coming out called Bootstrap to New York Stock Exchange. So literally all my life I've done it the poor man's way, because I didn't come from money. My dad had a good living, but I watched him make money, watched his visionary. So that's kind of where I got some of my strengths from my dad, watching him do what he did. But second half of my life is, like I said, just living in Knoxville, working out of New York, and taking private companies public, which is kind of a specialty of mine. This is what I love to do, take a private company with an idea, raise them capital, and kind of give them the steps to go public. And so with this last company, with the oil and gas company, again, it was a company that had been public already. It had been public for like 12 years. But just because you're public doesn't mean things are, people go public thinking you can raise money, and you got to have all the pieces. It's kind of like, I reckon, to like baking a cake. If you leave an ingredient out, if you leave the baking soda out, it won't rise. And so in a public company, you have to have, accounting and legal and finance and a product. And, even if you got a great product, if you don't have a team that can execute on the product, then you don't execute it and it fails. And so with Safe Space Global, it was a vision of mine that came way back from my dad when he's been passed away for about 20 years. But he's like, son, I'm not going to move into a nursing home. I want to age right here at the home. And people were falling at home and dying. And I was like, man, the only thing out there in that space was these lanyards, that people wear. Everybody's seen it, help them fall and they can't get up. Mm-hmm. And that's no dignity. So I was like, what can we create that, we believe that people are living longer and there's less doctors and nurses to take care of them. So I believed back in 2016 that AI had to fill that gap in that space. And again, for nursing homes, again, they're living longer. There's less doctors, less nurses to take care of them. So started out using sensor technology, testing that in 2016, 2017, 2018, sensor, LiDAR, radar, cameras, failed more times than you can shake a stick at. I mean, one of the stories, Clayton, is, as these guys are writing the code, bootstrapping. So I'm putting all my money in myself personally right now. And I walk in to the guy to look at my new version of the code. And he's like, we've lost it. I said, you've lost what? He said, all your code. I said, I've paid you $100,000 plus to develop this code. And you've lost it. He said, yeah, your credit card didn't work. Your debit card didn't work. I said, the one that you're charging, $100 a month to for storage? He said, yeah. I said, well, I looked at it and it had expired like 2 months ago. So so it just expired. But it was a hard lesson learned because he didn't have my stuff backed up either. So everything that they've written, it went to the cloud, got lost, and we never got it back. So we started over from scratch again. So it literally would have been real easy in 2017 and 18 just to throw in the towel. But I'm not a quitter. Quitters don't win, and winners don't quit. So we redid it again and landed on camera technology. So now we're writing code using cameras. Cameras for us do the best of both worlds. It can, our AI. So our motto is we're AI first, camera agnostic. So we don't care what, we're not a hardware company, but we're writing our code that literally solves, in the nursing homes, it solves elopement problems. So an elopement in a nursing home is when mom or dad gets out of the building and goes where they're not supposed to go. They probably have dementia or something. So the only technology out there for that is the little lanyards. They have to wear like a little watch, and it rubs their skin, and it's awful. And they cut them off, and they get out and they die. Somebody dies a lot, in America about every day from elopements. And so our technology uses biometric facial recognition. So if mom or dad gets near a door that they're not supposed to be at, it literally locks the door, alerts the nearest nurse or doctor, and it saves lives. And so that's kind of a technology that nobody else has, that we've spent the last 5 years developing. And we've actually installed in 8 facilities just as of this week. And we're already catching people. We're already saving lives. And so it's kind of cool to after 9 years of failing, not failing, just learning. It's just learning every day, and you learn. And we're learning right now, even as it's live. We're learning every day, and the AI is learning, and AI is going to create so many things to help save lives, not only in nursing homes but in schools as well. So our company wants to just do away with these school shootings. We had one yesterday. We didn't, but the country did. Yeah. And our technology can, for schools, so your cameras are reactive. Even in nursing homes and schools, you can just sit there and kind of look at the film after it's happened. Our AI technology is proactive. So if you can imagine, Clayton, you're coming into school, and we call it, we're a global leader in multimodal AI. So we do a multitude of things. One is when you're coming into the school, we use license plate recognition to determine, if you're supposed to be at the school. And then say like in, down here in the Covenant shooting in Nashville, Tennessee, the lady drove onto the parking lot. She had graduated a couple years prior. She sat in her car for 16 minutes. When she got out of her car, she brandished her weapon. Our AI would have seen the weapon. It would have identified who she was. It would have detected the threat. And what is the threat? Is it a gun? Is it a knife? Is it a bomb? What is the threat? And then it alerts. So it does 3 things. It identifies the person, place, or thing, detects the threat, and alerts, in this case, the school resource officer. We have what they call a human in the loop because AI is not allowed to call 911. And so we have a human in the loop. So a human in the loop gets the text and looks on his phone and says, yep, that's a girl, that's a gun. It identifies the gun, AR-15, 9/11, whatever it is, and alerts the school resource officer. He gets the alert. He looks at it and says, all right, that's a threat. He pushes a button, it locks the school down, calls 911, and it goes into action. So again, no more of them coming and getting in school and kicking down the doors, shooting through the doors like they do. It's predictive analytics, and we think we're going to save lives.
That's cool. Are you able to install that to their current cam system, or do you have to replace the cams?
We are. No, most of these schools are spending good money on cameras. And again, so we're just we have a Safe Core 10 box that we call it, and a Safe Core 10, a Safe Core 20, depends on how many cameras they have. So we basically ship out our box to the school and put it in their racks and hook them up, and it goes live. And
so the application layer. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
all right, application layer. Absolutely.
Awesome.
And to do all this, not my only technology background was back in college. I'm just going to tell you how old I am. 4chan and COBOL is what I wrote. I don't even know what that is.
Those guys were retiring when I was coming out.
Yeah. So, literally having got a PhD in technology and code and AI, and boy, is it changing. It's changing. What used to take a year to write a code takes, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Now you have to be a good prompt coder. So, what the code they used to write, they can prompt it. The AI will write it, and then they just tweak it and build on it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm writing apps with Claude Code just for fun, just to see what its capabilities are. And
I wrote an app and sent it to my AI guy. I said, "Who did this?" I said, "I did it." He's like, "No, you didn't." I said, "Yeah, I did."
Well, I'm prototyping some ideas, and I'm like, "Oh, I see where this is going." So SaaS is not totally dead. Apps are coming back. It's just got to solve some workflow problems. And what you're doing is Safe Space is you're adapting what they already have with the monitoring, but now you're adding the application layer of like AI's detecting and alerting. And
in nursing homes, there's so many use cases. So, investigations. So it's the second most regulated industry in the country, behind like nuclear power or something. So these nursing homes are heavily regulated. And what we're finding is, like, I'm talking to a regional director. I said, "Tell me some of your biggest problems." And he said, "Scott, I spend a third of my time," and he said, "They pay me a lot. I spend a third of my time looking at video cameras for hours a day." I mean, I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, because when we get accused that mom didn't get her medicine in room 202, we have to see where the nurse was, see if she's in the room, see if that did happen or didn't happen. And with ours, we have a small language model instead of a large language model for the nursing homes. And it literally we have a program called Safe Space SAM, which detects all the biometric facial recognitions of everybody throughout the day. And if you want to know if somebody was in room 202, you can just put, Jane Doe nurse, where was she at? And what used to take 8 hours takes less than 8 minutes. And so it's saving time on the investigations. We have a fall product that we're developing currently that's, again, no lanyards, no watches, in development. It's not finished. But if mom or dad falls, it'll send a video clip and a text the second she falls. Instead of what happens is they get to their rooms in these assisted care living facilities or nursing homes, and they take their lanyard off and hang it on their walker because they think it's their safe space, which is how we got the name. I said, Miss Arms, you took your lanyard off. Why'd you take your lanyard off? You may fall. She goes, "No, when I get back to my room, it's my safe space." And sure enough, couple months later, she fell and laid there for hours, like 3 or 4 hours with a broken hip. I said, we got to eliminate that. We got to stop that. And so our technology stops that as well.
Yeah, my mom did the same thing. For some reason, thought it was smart to climb on a ladder at night, probably after a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Fell in the kitchen for hours. We didn't know, couldn't.
Yep.
And we installed the Amazon Alexa after that the next day, basically, so she could shout out if she fell.
That's absolutely good. So ours, we were installing in a beta test, and the lady's like, "Can that thing hear me?" And I was like, "I don't know. Do you want it to hear you, or do you not want it to hear you?" She goes, "No, I do." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Well, I fell the other day, and I was laying here for hours, and nobody could, she didn't get hurt, but nobody could come get her." And there's different types of falls. There's slip and falls, or they bend over to pick up a teddy bear or something, they can't get back up. So this allows the nurse or doctor to kind of reboot and look and see, did she fall? Did she hit her head? Does she need to go to the hospital? Like, actually what happened, which is kind of cool.
That's very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. By the way, that was right before COVID, and she got COVID. We didn't know yet, but she kind of went missing for a half a day or so. So we had installed Alexa throughout our house. Well, I had the video Alexa, and we're able to tap in.
Yeah.
We could tap in. We could see the dog on her bed barking at her. When she was laying in the bed, she just had COVID and was like blacked out. So I'm at a pool party, and we're calling 911. We're watching the ambulance on the Ring doorbell, and then they came in and got her. She was just kind of like COVIDed out, and they said, "Oh, we're taking her." She goes, I'm fine. They're like, "No." Fine. I'm like, "Take her." No, she's fine. There's something wrong with her. And she had COVID. But yeah, so that's good tech. You're going to save a lot of people with that. I love that.
Yeah. And we went the commercial route, Clayton. So, but it was really conceived for mom and dad at home or living by themselves at home. So my father-in-law, my wife's father, passed away last year, and the same thing, he fell. What typically happens once they fall, they're scared of falling again, and so they're afraid to get up. And then the wife is afraid to leave, afraid they'll fall. So we got to put a stop to that as well. And that's our test that's coming out later. Is like, I got to have something so simple for a home that combines that we can just ship out to their house and they can install it easily. And again, have 24/7 coverage, 365 with the AI technology.
Yeah, that's great.
It can listen, it can hear, it can alert, it can call 911 on their behalf if they fall, and sometimes they fall and knock themselves out and they can't do anything. This would catch that, alert, and identify, detect, and alert. So it's 3 things.
So you said you went the commercial route. You're installing this in nursing homes, but you also have the home product for it?
Yeah, we're working on home products. It was conceived, for the home, and I get literally a call a week about people that want it for their home. So I just told our tech, and of course we have this what they call project management office. So you probably know what that is, but it's literally we have these things, they're running on these sprints and do this well, and it's down here at the bottom. But I'm like, that's just such a huge market, for at home, because there's not a person literally that I talk to that, son, mom, dad's living in other states, and there's nobody to take care of them. And they don't want to go to a nursing home, so they live at home. And one of our chief medical officer that's on our staff, she has one of the largest family practices in Knoxville, and she calls on the elderly at home. She goes, man, if you can get this for the home, it's beautiful. I said, well, we got to make it first, and then we'll figure out how to get it. Call Jamie, sign me off with Ring, and say, hey, we need to put this in your Ring cameras.
Yeah. Well, you got to start with the market you can install it in first to get the most traction and prove it. It sounds like you're already doing that. You said you did 8 installs last week.
Yeah, we did 8 installs. So that was exciting. And again, it was a nightmare. First time installs are always nightmares because, the uptime and downtime and the Wi-Fi in these nursing homes are terrible. So we're having to adjust with that because you can imagine we're capturing a lot of pictures and frames per second. And it's just a lot of data. And a lot of data, eats up Wi-Fi. And so, but it's exciting to see, like I get the alerts here on my phone. I have them come and, elopement detected, and I'm like, wow, we're in the wild, we call it. We're catching them in the wild, and
yeah,
it's sad to see them. I mean, I had a alert sent to me last week where somebody got out and they died because they froze. They got cold and died, and it's just sad. So.
Yeah, that's too bad. And the text there, and even the Samantha Guthrie, they said like her mom, they had the Ring camera, but they weren't recording. Like,
yeah. I mean, like this. I mean, you can have many use cases. Like if ours was in her, house, again, when they came in, it would have detected somebody's in there that they're not supposed to be in at that time of night, and it would have sent an alert, an alert to her that second, like as it's happening.
The technology's there, isn't it?
It is there. I mean, like with my house, like we're having it installed at my house as the beta test. And so again, 2 years ago, Christmas Eve day, I call him Guido, came in at 4:31 in the morning, and we had our whole family and about 25 people to stay with us. The whole family comes in from everywhere every Christmas for like 7 to 10 days. And he went through every car, and the only car that was unlocked was mine. And he stole some stuff out of mine, but the Ring didn't detect it. So he knew we had Ring cameras, but with our technology that's being installed now, it would have alerted me when somebody entered the driveway, the perimeter. So I got the alert immediately, and then the lights would have came on, and you can even, Clayton, we're working with some large national drone companies. So with schools, when the alert gets detected in the future, you're going to see drones pop up and fly out to the threat, and
that's cool.
Yeah,
I saw something about that like you'll proactively interact with any kind of threat that's in a class or in a school.
Yeah,
a little swarm of drones.
Literally. I mean, literally,
pellet guns or Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, you're on your way with that. That's awesome, and I can't wait to see how you're you're probably in line after you're got so much traction now with Safe Space Global.
Yeah.
What's the probability of getting acquired by like Google, getting rolled up by one of the big boys here in the future? What Ring got picked up by Amazon for $1 billion?
Yeah.
Over on Shark Tank, and then picked up by Amazon for $1 billion. What's the trajectory for Safe Space?
I can tell you honestly, we've been trying to be picked already. When our first two patents came out, I don't know, 4 years ago, we got a call and said, "Hey, we want to buy you and take you private." And we said, "Thank you, but no, thank you." And but that will happen. I always say when you get out there and start stepping on enough toes and start replacing companies with, like right now for the elopements, Wonder Guard is the 800-pound gorilla. But again, it's an expensive product. It's $80,000 to $100,000 to install. And we have a better product at a better price, and again, nothing to wear, nothing to do, and so no lanyards, no wristbands. It's biometric facial. You get near that door, it locks, alerts, and it saves lives. And so, as we roll that out, that'll be a very big possibility, and that's again our next step is to go from the pink sheets to Ring. I always begin with the end in mind. So the end for me was ringing the New York or NASDAQ again. And so I won't be happy till I ring and they can come by us then. Let somebody smarter than me take it to the next level.
Okay. I hope you do. That'd be good. I want to see that.
We checked 5 of the 6 boxes. The last box is the $2 share box. And so now the New York has moved the goalpost to $4 for everybody. So
oh, really? I didn't know.
Hurdle. It's like, well, it is what it is, and we'll get there when we get there. But we'll keep moving until then. And so, yeah, if you're out there, I'd love to have some more shareholders.
Yeah, awesome. So I ask everybody this there's a final question. You've been in rooms with Wall Street, private equity, sovereign wealth funds. And you've built businesses, you've rebuilt businesses, you've started from scratch. If you had to start over today for my audience, if you had to start over today with nothing, how would you do it? What would you do to scale, to get going faster, the fastest way possible? What can you say that would teach people how to get going? What would you do?
I think with every company that I've built, be it real estate, be it products, be it sign companies, be it insurance agencies, be it like I've been involved in multiple companies and multiple exits, small and large. The big key is find a problem. Usually the problem happens in everyday life. Find that problem. We say the money changes hands when problems are solved, and the bigger the problem, the bigger the money. And so again, in this case, the problem is people are living longer and there's less people to take care of them. So AI is going to fill the gap. The only problem with the problem I've been solving is I didn't know anything about technology. And so again, it's easier to solve a problem if you understand what you're solving, but I just had to get educated, had smart people around me that knows it inside and out. That, our CTO, Chief Technology Officer, just exited his prior company for about $1.6 billion. And so again, when I want somebody that's smart, I go get the A players. But find a problem, no matter what the problem is. You can be a plumber, electrician, carpenter, insurance. There's problems in every space, and find a solution to that problem, and then go tell the world about it, and then build your team. Again, I look at the public. That's why I like the public companies. Most of 95+% of all the pink sheet companies never ring a NASDAQ bell or a New York Stock Exchange bell because they found a problem, but they didn't complete the circle with the solutions. I truly believe that you got to have, lawyers, accountants, a product, a team that solves the problem, that can execute on the product. You've got to have, a product that solves a problem. And when you put the whole team together, then you can do great things. But again, it starts with what is the problem? How are we going to solve it? And then how are we going to get the money to fund it? And that's usually where the friends and family, the bootstrap to New York comes from. Is like, usually I started with my own money, and then when I ran out of money, then I reverse merged and took it public, and then raised capital from shareholders. And then so they get in at a good premium. They get in at the friends and family rate. Facebook didn't call me when they went public because they circled their friends and family. And so our friends and family on this company got involved at 10 cents a share, and it's sitting at 20 cents. So they've doubled their money, so they're happy. But it's been up to as high as $1.60. So again, on the pink sheets, it's a supply and demand. It's really more people buying than selling makes it go up or down. When we get to NASDAQ or New York, it's all about fundamentals. It's all about
explain pink sheet for my audience.
So pink sheets, if you call your brokers out there and say, I want to invest in this company that's on the pink sheets, it's defined as anything that's $5 stock or less. So a $5 stock or less is defined as a pink sheet company. And it's just another market. So like the NASDAQ and the New York Exchange is a national market. The pink sheets is what they call the OTC, over the counter. Just like me or you just formed this company and says, all right, we're gonna form this company and it's going to trade stocks back and forth. We're going to get a little bit of eighth of a share for everything that trades, and that's how they make money. They have companies like us that subscribe to the pink sheets. We pay like $12,500 a year to belong to the OTC ID.
Are you regulated by the SEC, and do you have to be accredited to invest in you?
No, you don't. You can just go online to E-Trade, Scottrade, any of the online brokers and buy our stock. So again, it's
okay.
If you call your Fidelity broker or your big broker and say, I want to invest in this pink sheet stock, they're going to laugh at you and say, you're going to lose your money and you shouldn't do that. But again, there's 12,000 companies but there's different levels of pink sheets. So there's what they call alternative reporting, which means they're not audited. They just file a different, they don't have the money to have audited financials. But one thing we always do when we're on the pink sheets is we act as if we're on the NASDAQ or New York. So what I mean by that is we have an independent board member. So we have 3 independent board members: audit committee, comp committee, corporate governance committee. We're fully audited. It's what they call PCAOB audited. So our books are audited. So we're fully transparent. So we just check all the boxes as if we're playing, in the majors. And when they pull us up, then we'll already have those boxes checked. So that's kind of cool.
That's smart. Awesome. Okay. What did I leave anything out? Do you?
Stock symbol is SSGC. SSGC, Safe Space Global Corporation. And again, instead of buying a cup of coffee today, I'd love to go to the website and take a look and see the problems that we're solving and be partners with us. I work for the shareholders, so my job is, when you found the company, there was just me. Now we got like 1,300 and change of us shareholders, so we're just building that base every day.
Okay, love it. That's awesome. And you're solving a real world problem and scaling sounds like pretty quickly. So that's good, encouraging.
Yep. It's exciting to work for a company where you're actually changing lives. To have our granddaughters and grandbabies say, one day there's not going to be school shootings. You never take them all out, but we can eliminate most of them. And so we've actually partnered up. I went around the world, Clayton, looking for. So our AI can see a brandished weapon, right? But it can't see a concealed weapon. And we just signed a letter of intent to have an exclusive contract with BMRT, which is Base Molecular Resonance Technologies. And it's a company that's got 20 plus patents, been around 20 plus years. The dads, the 2 CEOs, president CEO that run it, their dad founded the company, went to the grave with this technology, but it's the craziest thing in the world. It's like a radio wave technology that can not detect the gun, but actually detect the molecular gunpowder, the powder in the gun. So what we're developing on top of our AI technologies, if in the future, if you come onto the grounds of a school, their technology is going to see the molecular gunpowder and alert our technology, here's the threat, detect it. Yeah, our AI is going to verify it and then send it to police. So it's like coming over the top of ours. It's something like you've never seen. Like when we met with them, they're in Washington talking to Senator Blackburn and Pete Headstaff, and because it's got like military, like they can detect plutonium, they can detect drugs in schools, they can detect fentanyl, and so we're getting the exclusive with schools and prisons. for their technology. They have like 56 use cases. This is the craziest thing you've ever seen. It could detect.
I didn't even know that was possible. Yeah.
I went around the world looking for it, and literally here in our backyard, they were in Washington, and they said we need an AI company to partner with. And Marcia said, call these guys. They're developing great technology, so we're helping them move to Tennessee, but we're going to detect that together. They need AI, and we need them. So it's kind of a marriage made in heaven. Like the one piece that we didn't have. And it's people like our shareholders don't understand like how big this is going to be. This will end. This will be the new standard for school safety, and we're just right on the right on the cusp of it.
That's very cool and much needed. I mean, it's been crazy seeing how vulnerable they are, and a single resource officer standing at the front door does not cover a school very well.
It does. So. I mean, you can just imagine like we're sitting here in the office. It's like a linear. So you point it this way. When it breaks that barrier, the gun's in the trunk. It can be, it's whatever. It's concealed in the trunk. Now we're going to have, again, when seconds matter, this is good. So gun is entered the parking lot. Guns aren't allowed on school premises. In Tennessee, everybody carries guns, but they're not allowed on school premises. So we'll have it dialed into where this face with the AI is allowed to have a friend or foe. Like the school resource officers won't trigger it because they'll be tagged in the system.
Yeah, that's good. So you're cataloging everybody as you're doing the install, basically.
Yeah. License plates, faces, cataloging. When the kids go to school, you sign this. You have to sign a waiver because there's so many regulations and privacy concerns and stuff. Like, hey, there's school shooting. You want to know where kids at. Yeah, I mean,
that's the LLM you're installing inside there in the box.
Yeah.
You're installing in there.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, another SafeCore box, and so now we're having to have our SafeCore box talk to Base Molecular's box. They got to talk. They got to write that API where they can talk to each other.
Sure.
It detects. It sends it to us. We detect. We verify. Human in the loop, and boom. And it's technology is moving fast. So we're literally every day. We have an office, a captive office in India where we have about 35 to 40 employees over there writing code every day to solve these problems.
Okay. All right, cool. Are you still doing fundraising in New York, and are you?
We are, yeah. I always tell people we'll be raising capital until we get bought out, and that never changes. So as we crank it up, the burn cranks up as we develop products. So that's I love going to New York, but I love living in Tennessee.
Yeah, Nashville. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm excited for you, and I think you're right on the edge of something amazing here. And I know you guys will kill it. You got great track record, and you've shared a lot of, I think, good, really stuff that people can, think about when rolling out AI and rolling out products and getting started and solving problems. Like you're right on the edge of it. That's good.
Yeah. And just think of what AI can do. Think of what the human does now. So again, we're creating a whole new industry. It's the biggest thing since the internet. Like it's bigger than the internet. It's the most powerful tool we've ever had. And it's really like humans are training it. So we got to make sure we train it right to do the right thing, right? It's like raising a kid. You got to train it and then it gets smarter every day. And then you take 100 of the smartest people in the room, put all their brains in the room, and they train it. Now you've got, now you've got a brain of 100 people. And so that's what's so cool about it, which we use it every day. AI first, camera agnostic, but we use it in our business every day for contracts, for just everything. I'll take an email and download it and have it fact check it, make it right better than I write. People said, "Are you using AI to write your emails?" I said, "Yeah." How'd you know? He said, "Because you usually write terrible emails, but now I've used it every day and it looks good and professional." And
heck yeah! No, we have a master prompt creative not just for us, but also for our clients. So even when we're interacting with our clients, we have the master prompt written about them, for them, with their, so it's really ingrained into all of our systems in our companies. And and when all my investment and companies that I'm helping and mentoring and stuff, that I'm like making the master prompt so specific so they can utilize the benefit of AI and what AI can do for companies and help them be more efficient and sound in your voice.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Even my when I go get my complete physical, I said, why aren't you using AI? And all of a sudden he picks up his phone, he turns it over and it says, I am. I've recorded our whole conversation. I said, good, because
There you go.
it will remember more than you will. And it, then you just take that whole process and download it. And like all this paperwork that they need to get back to being a doctor. That's what they went to school for, is to help people. And AI is going to help them get back to what, in nursing homes, like we're eliminating 6 different products that they're paying for in nursing homes that our one product would do all 6 of them. So yeah, we're going to eliminate some stuff, but it's really going to consolidate their workflows and make them better, where they can get back to taking care of mom and dad.
Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, awesome.
Exciting.
All right, man, I'm excited for you. I'm gonna be following you, and if you go ring the bell again, I'm coming. And
yeah, baby, I like it. You'll see. I'll let you know.
and then so it's safespaceglobal.ai, and your NASDAQ symbol or your stock symbol is what?
SSGC, Safe Space Global Corporation, SSGC.
Okay, cool. And I'll put that all in the notes here. And last thing you want people to know?
That's it. Just come see us and watch us and help us grow and spread the word. And if you got a school or a nursing home out there that needs our technology, just give us a ring. We'd love to come see you and let you know.
Cool. Thanks for coming on, Scott. Good seeing you, man.
Joey, Clayton, this was fun. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been doing this? You're a natural.
So I actually, and we'll chat it there. I have. Actually, I just sold my last company to private equity. I've been building companies for the last 10 years. I work for GE. My brother's a CFO of Regions Bank, by the way. I think you got a couple of branches.
Oh, cool.
So talk about being in New York. Y'all probably have overlapped on fundraising / trips on Wall Street. And
I bet we have. Yeah.
He's went to University of Alabama. He's in Birmingham, of course. But I started 6 months ago after I sold my business. I did some consulting. I'm an Entrepreneurs Org International. I'm surrounded by all these really successful people.
Okay.
And I started asking about their business, and I'm like, damn, I should record. I just should record this guy and listen and share it. So finally, 6 months ago, I said, all right, I'm going to do it. And I grabbed a couple people and made them sit down.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to do it. I don't know. I took a couple of courses, and I learned as much as I could. Yeah. And I just hit record. And the first episodes were terrible. I don't care. They need views. And then all of a sudden, just a few months ago, I got one of my recordings got 70,000 views. I was like, okay, I got something here. So
yeah, nice. Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, I've had a little bit of practice, but not too much. But I'm good at I'm inquisitive. I like hearing about people. It's just fascinating to me here how people bought, built, sold, scaled, failed, rebuilt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's just
that Miller exchange. Like I took a beating from Miller. So again, it was a pink sheet company at a nickel, trading a nickel share, trading by appointment. I came in there. It was my ex-father-in-law. He thought he went public via reverse merger and thought he was going to have access to capital to drill wells. Well, he hates legal. He hates accounting. He hates raising money, but he's one of the best drillers ever. So I had a good platform. And then the world fell apart in 2008. And so oil went from 130 to 30. And I was like, it didn't matter to us. We only had 8 barrels a day. I looked at him and said, what have you been doing for 12 years that you only have 8 barrels of production a day, 800,000 a year in revenue and losing 800,000. Long story short, the world fell apart. We made a few acquisitions because that's what I like doing, and acquired something that Goldman Sachs had loaned $460 million to 2 years prior. And I picked it up for less than $5 million in bankruptcy court. I sat in bankruptcy court for 4 months in Delaware, being a stalking horse bidder, watching all these contracts. Nobody could finance anything. Goldman Sachs didn't even credit bid on it. And we ended up negotiating. I outbid a $8 billion neighbors drilling, outbid them in the bankruptcy court, and didn't even have the money. So I had it under contract for $1.4 million going to close on a Tuesday, and the bankruptcy trustee calls me Monday night. I said, I got good news and bad news. I said, here comes the screwing right now. Here it comes. He said, the good news is you can still buy this thing. The bad news is we're going to have an auction tomorrow, because when we sent your offer out to the 92 creditors in bankruptcy court, one of them came back and just doubled the offer. It went from $1.6 million to like 3.2. I'm like, and I just literally had my last wire in for the $1.6 million. I think it was $1.4 million. $1.4 million, I think it's what. Yeah, $1.4 million. I got my last wire into the bank on Monday afternoon, like at 10 to 4, because I was closing on Tuesday, and then get that call Monday night, and then we had the auction, and I ended up outbidding Neighbors Drilling, which is $8 billion market cap company, big drilling company. And my attorney's like, well, you don't have $5 million. I said, well, I don't have to close till next week. I said, I got $1.5 million. I was ready to close, but now I got to go get another $3 million. So again, just having that no fear. I ought to tell that story sometime, because again, it was bankruptcy court. It's the wild, wild west. But anyway, we got that in our first well that we drilled. We didn't even drill it. We just reworked the well in Alaska. So I was up to about 110 barrels a day. The first well we drilled up there came in like at 1,100 barrels a day. It's like me hitting like the Clampets, and so we were off to the races and grew that company. And our shareholders took it to $9. I took it to almost $1 billion. And I tell people, when you invest with me at a nickel or a dime or 20 cents or 30 cents, when it doubles, sell your stock, get your principal back, because you never know what's happening. I had 9 million shares of that company. So I went from a nickel to $9, and I hired a Harvard guy to take my place 5 years in, thinking he was going to take it from 9 to 20, and he took it from 9 to bankruptcy. And 14 months, I'm like, gosh, I lost almost $100 million. But not all of them, most all my shareholders made money. I've got one of my best friends that again gave me $250,000. He's an older gentleman, and it turned into about $5 million. He never sold a single share. He rolled it all the way up to $5 million, all the way down to zero. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't,
Take the wins. Take
the wins. Just take something off the table. But guess who wrote my first check in this company? It was first $100,000 check back into this. And I looked at him and said, I'm not taking your money unless you promise me you'll sell.
That's nice.
So he's up big right now. So that's good for him. And that's what I enjoy doing, is changing people's lives. Raising capital, pink sheet companies, and letting them sell. We've got in this company, we raised $10 million of friends and family money. And so, just passed the hat, raised $10 million to grow, scale and grow. And those guys got in a dime. And when it ran to $1.59, I've had 15 of them said, I got out at 60 cents. I got out at $1.10. You made me, this one school teacher said, you made me more money in less than a year than I made my whole life teaching school. And I'm like, wow, but that's why our stock's at 20 cents and not $1.60, because those guys sold. Again, more sellers than buyers, it goes down. More buyers and sellers, it goes up. So we're in a better position now than we've ever have been in our whole life. But I just got to get the few sellers, whoever's selling out there. I just got to get them on out, and once they sell, then it just goes up with all the good news. We went to $1.60 on no revenue, no contracts, no news, no anything. It was just pure people buying the stock because they were all fired up about it, which is crazy.
Awesome.
I actually hated it because I knew we didn't have any substance. Right? I'm a substance guy.
Yeah. But you're still in AI, and you're on the cutting edge. So it's like,
Yeah, and we have, like I said, I'm building it to ring the bell and to sell it. So there'll be a Google, Amazon.
And you have 8 installs last week. How many total do you have in total?
Well, we've got 24 was our beta test into Signature Healthcare. So 24 is the ones that got us out there last year, testing it, working it, what they call hardening the code. So now the code's written. Now we're hardening the code, and 8 just for the elopements. So the 24 was for the investigations. We created something that, if you got an extra second, like we created something, Clayton, that created kind of a problem. Like in healthcare, staffing is a big issue. So they got W-2 employees and they got 1099 employees. And so they have to go get staffing agencies in order to fulfill their, you got to have 3.5 hours per patient, daily. And so they hire these third-party people, and they steal time. I said, what do you mean steal time? He said, yeah, they'll tell you they come in at 6 a.m, supposed to work till 6 at night, but they'll come in at 6:20. They'll take a 15-minute break at 10:30, but it's really a 45-minute break, and they steal time. So we wrote a program and have a patent for this that says when you come into this facility, it biometrically clocks you in, and when you leave for a smoke break, it clocks you out, clocks you in, clocks you out, reconciles it, and sends a report. The first month, we saved them $30,000. I was so excited. We sat down. He was excited. I was excited. We called the staffing company. We all got on a big conference call, and they said, we got a problem. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, like the nursing home bills CMS. They get paid based on how many hours they do. So they pay. So they overbuild. These guys underbuild. I'm like, they're committing fraud. And then like they just shoved it underneath the carpet and said, I don't want that anymore.
They don't have any problems.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh,
that's funny.
That was funny, but yeah.
Wow. How long ago was that?
About a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you have testimonies from the installs you have now? Do you have people that are willing to go on camera for you?
I think so. Yeah, that's one of the parts that we told them. Like Barbara Revlett is a shareholder and what they call the chief nursing officer for all of Signature. So I would like to get her. Once we get these things out, I'd love to get her on camera in the future.
So I know you had a PR person that handled your meeting with me. I don't know if you know that I also have an agency, Leadly, that I have. Part of what I did was I built. I got out of GE. I left the Navy, went to corporate. I worked for GE in the Jack Welch days, and I was doing.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
love that.
I was. Yeah, me too. And I was rolling out apps to corporate, and I would be up at 30 Rock many times, and had interactions with him. And did that for a couple of years until I realized I could make more money in consulting and marketing. And I ended up buying one of my clients' contractor training center e-learning company. I just sold it to private equity. But the reason I was able to do it is because I just learned e-learning for construction and trades. So to get your license, to get your renewal, continue education. He had used them once.
We're starting to one
state. You are.
I need to talk to you about that because we're like part of what we do when we go into these facilities is we have to teach them. Like, here's the new product. Here's how to use it. Here's how to train and get them certified and do all this stuff for elopements, for falls, for whatever. And there's actually grant money for that, like $15,000 per facility. So our grant writer, which we have, thinks he's going to get us a couple $1 million this year just in learning and training and teaching.
Yeah, well, the Thinkific and all those apps now that are AI centric, so amazing to be able to roll those out on those platforms now.
Yeah,
and it gamifies the learning and it tracks their progress, and like it's just so good now.
What's it called?
That Thinkific is the one, and Abacus is the AI driven e-learning platform now that's taking over. And it gamifies it, and it tracks them, and then it reminds them, and then it notifies the managers about progress. And when I was doing it, I was having to manually API in all these little apps together, and make a system where you check in, pay, get delivery, trigger something, and then now it's just like so integrated and so cool and easy to roll these out. And so what I did was after I sold to Gridiron Capital in Connecticut, largest fee, and so I'm still partner. I have equity in the company, so I'll have a second bite. That's why this show's called Second Bite. But
oh wow,
so I'm waiting. They just hired the CEO of who took Coursera public a few years ago. They just hired him CEO, so my second bite might end up being bigger than my first bite.
And a lot of times they are actually when they plow that money into it and just grow it. So I think you'll do all right. Yeah,
I was number 26 of 29 roll-ups for that company, and they bought a bunch of e-learning companies in construction, trades, nursing, legal. So I was number 26. They were very good by the time they got to me. They had a really good reputation, treating the founders correctly. They kept my daughter on board and even promoted her, so she's still in course development there. But I came back out and I did. I'm back into the marketing CMO, fractional CMO realm for a bunch of my founder friends and Entrepreneurs Org. And one of the things I could say to you is just get some video. Everything that's winning right now is YouTube. Google loves YouTube, so I would get as many testimonials, as many of these videos. This video is going to be good for you because it'll not only get your brand name, but it'll also get your product and all the use cases for it out there on YouTube, which Gemini picks up, which ChatGPT picks up, right? Okay. So now you're going to be getting crawled by the LLMs. But I did a preliminary crawl on your website. I'll send it to you after this. There's some stuff you can do from a SEO standpoint, which is my former superpower, which I'm back in.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to give you a CMO analysis after this and let you know what I would do if I were you to get some more visibility, crawling, and then traction. So
yeah, that's I can tell you that was one of my weaknesses. Even though I graduated in marketing and finance, that SEO and all that stuff, like I've charged them and said we got to get somebody that knows, what that looks like.
I'm going to give you a free once over. I realized when I came out, I was good at this. That's why I bought Contractor Training Center. He was in one state, and I took him nationally. I built a nationally dominant brand based on Google, Facebook, and knowing how to drive traffic. So
okay, that's exciting. Yeah. That really is exciting. Yeah, that'll be fun. Thank you.
Yeah, glad to do it. Well, I appreciate you being on. This is a really good episode.
Yeah,
and so
talk again as the story progresses.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Look forward to following up.
Thanks, Clayton. Have a good day.
Okay. Enjoy. See you. Cheers.